Canada goose, one of the biggest, smartest, and most beautiful birds in the world. Watching them at their ease here in a bird sanctuary, it's hard to believe that anyone or anything could harm such graceful creatures. And yet, not too long ago, the threat of extinction loomed over the entire goose population of North America. Unrestricted hunting, the draining of the swamps and the marshlands had taken their toll. The giant Canada goose seemed lost forever. But then, a miracle began to unfold in the wetlands, where geese meet and mate and raise their young amid a host of dangers. It's autumn, and the tranquil world of the Canada goose hovers on the brink of disruption. As autumn propels the geese to fly south, the hunting season begins. Man has always been a hunter, but the plight of the Canada goose has helped teach us to be something more. As you can see, not all geese spend the winter in the deep south. Surprisingly, this snowy lake provides a winter retreat. For years, we thought the giant Canada goose had been wiped out. Then, in the 1960s, in Rochester, Minnesota, where water from a nearby power plant warms the lake, scientists found a few giants, and those few were enough. With careful management, man performed a modern miracle. And once again, all over North America, the giants are taking off. The coming of spring triggers an instinct as powerful and unyielding as time. The urge to return to the place of their birth, up in the north. Geese were born to fly. Their huge wings slice the air, thrusting them to altitudes of 9,000 feet. It takes 12,000 muscles to operate these feathers at 60 miles an hour in a sweeping symphony of flight. As the ice dissolves, a gander arrives alone at his nesting grounds in southern Ontario and Canada. Now, mating can take place on the winter range, but there's nothing like water to make a splash with the opposite sex. In goose society, mated couples outrank singles. In this case, the only way to beat the system is to join it. Bobbing to the same beat plays an important part in the mating game. Some hit the beat immediately. Others need a lot of practice. But once you've got it, you've got it. And once you're a twosome, you move up in the pecking order. As the land thaws, the geese go into hiding to nest. Now the question of territory becomes very important. Finding it and keeping it. It's only a matter of days until the first eggs will be laid. Once they decide on a place to nest, the female can concentrate on hatching while the male does patrol duty. There's really no need for them to make such a fuss. No muskrat is going to argue with 6-foot wingspans. They're powerful. They've been known to break a man's leg. Warmed by the sun, the wetlands stir to life and to sudden, violent death. The mink may be the best-dressed hunter in the swamp, but she has a terrible reputation. She kills more than she can eat. But swamps and marshes hide more than hunters. The beaver is a workaholic, always busy making sure the wetlands remain wet. He's a great engineer and actually helps other creatures like the Canada geese preserve the kind of homes they need. Animals don't always cooperate, but not every confrontation leads to violence. Sometimes a young beaver sets out to explore his pond and has his first close encounter of the young raccoon kind. In this case, they're not even sure who's supposed to do what and to whom. If a female's eggs are taken away by man to be incubated and nurtured in safety, that goose will lay another clutch of eggs. Which means that conservationists like Fred Bard can raise one family while the geese themselves raise another. A very efficient way to quickly increase the population of an endangered species. But away from man's protection, a full nest always offers a tempting target. This is a difficult time for a mother goose. She plucks soft down from her breast to insulate the eggs. An extra layer of fat gives her the energy to spend long hours hatching. The invasion of dangerous neighbors presents a cruel dilemma. Fighting them off will waste the energy she needs to hatch the eggs. Not fighting means she'll have no eggs to hatch. Geese are a lot like people. Each one reacts to danger in a different way. In this case, the female retreats, calling to her mate for help. But even tough ganders can't always be counted on to go after a raccoon. The stakes are too high. Desperate to escape those punishing blows, the raccoon heads for the water. But Mother Goose heads him off at the pass. And that bandit raccoon paddles for home as quickly as he can. But the geese won't leave him alone till they've escorted him all the way out of their territory. As spring becomes summer, the marsh vibrates with the hungry demands of countless new arrivals. Ducks have twice as many babies as geese because ducklings are not as well protected. Their papas have long gone. And in the marsh, protection is essential. Goslings are always guarded, usually by both geese. Even though this mother duck tries hard to protect her young alone, a snapping turtle is as terrifying as a sea monster. A snapping turtle is a vicious hunter, given the opportunity. Of course, that's not always easy for us to appreciate because we're so big by comparison. But if you're the size of a duckling or a gosling, he's big. The hatching time is a time of wonder and great tension in the wetlands. Here, as everywhere else in the wild, it's the young who are the most vulnerable. And as always, the danger comes in the first few days of life. In the marsh, for those who are unaware of the ways of the wilderness, danger has 1,000 eyes and watches over and under the water. A mink makes her move. She's blocked by the duck who puts her life on the line for her young. Pretending to leave, the mink hides, snatches a duckling, and she's gone. Another young duckling falls victim. But for those who survive, the sun is warm and the food is plentiful. Those first eggs gathered by Fred Bard have turned into perky little goslings. Fred began his work way back in the 40s, when the goose population had become dangerously small. When these goslings hatched, they didn't know they were geese. The first moving object they saw was Fred, and now they follow him wherever he goes. They'll adjust when he releases them into the wild. They're adaptable and intelligent, but like children, they need a natural, loving environment. The second group of goslings leave with their parents, and off they go to the brooding area, where they'll find food and protection, and of course, the wonder of water. Right now, their wings are the weakest part of their body, but they can swim and dive like professionals. Fred Bard has just released his brood to the water, too. He'll keep a protective eye on all of them. At the brooding area, goslings from several families swim together. Fred's goslings don't know yet what's going on. It looks like they've been accepted, but they're very confused. They don't know what they're supposed to do until finally they get the message. It's time to get in line, and get in line they do. Summer gets hotter. The young get plumper, and to a hungry turtle, they begin to look awfully tasty. But today, it's a different proposition, because older and plumper means wiser and faster. Now comes the most dangerous stage in their life cycle, the molt. Their flight feathers drop off. For almost a month, they are unable to fly, vulnerable to every passing stranger. If she runs away, that fox will go after her babies, but she turns and chases him. One snap at her jugular could kill her. Even in nature, the right image is half the battle. Again this year, Fred Bard has helped at least one pair of Canada geese double their offspring. Clumsy goslings have become graceful geese. Now, he sees their newfound independence and the quickening urge to fly. Slowly, they begin to test their wings. With the passing of summer comes the sharp, clear call of the South, driving them to strengthen bodies and wings, forcing them on ever longer flights for food, exposing them to the most implacable hunter of all, man. This time, the birds fly on unharmed, but there's one more danger ahead. When hunters use lead shot near shallow water, the combination can be deadly. Geese feed on the bottom. Some swallow the lead. Half a dozen tiny pellets can kill a bird slowly but surely. Lead poisoning. For this female, flying has become impossible. Now, walking is difficult. All she can do is call to her mate. He is loyal. Even though the urge to fly pulses through him, he will stay by her, comforting her with his presence. Almost paralyzed, she suffers a heart attack. All he knows is that she's dying, and he'll never know why. He will keep this vigil, unwilling to leave until his own life is threatened. And still he stays faithful to his partner. Who are we to say that only humans mourn? Finally, the call of the South blocks out everything else. He flies to join his flock. The flocks converge, becoming a mighty mass. Restlessness builds like a fever. The time has come. There can be no holding back. And suddenly, they take to the skies. They are free, and while man allows, they will always return. We're strange creatures, we humans. The Canada goose taught us a lot about what we are, what we can be, what we can do. We almost wiped out the geese through hunting and through the destruction of their homes. But we turned that around. Conservationists like Fred Bard stepped in and changed the balance. They fostered birds, and the population built up quickly. They protected wetlands. They even created new ones like this one. And they didn't do it alone either. The hunters helped a great deal, generously supporting organizations like Ducks Unlimited. And in some places, lead shot is already banned. Well, not every problem can be solved as easily as the goose problem. But with this kind of attitude, I think we're on the right road in the new wilderness.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Lorne Greene's New Wilderness. And here are some of the other titles available in this award-winning series. Lorne Greene's New Wilderness. All these videos have a suggested retail price of only $14.95 and are available in stores everywhere. Ask for them by name. Lorne Greene's New Wilderness from Prism Entertainment.